Welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. What if the greatest opponent you'll ever face isn't standing across the field, the court, or the stage, but living inside your own mind? Champions aren't born. They're built, sculpted moment by moment in the furnace of pressure, failure, focus, and resilience. And while countless books promise to teach you how to win, few come from someone who has stared down the barrel of world-class pressure, fallen short, and then returned. Not just to win, but to dominate. Lanny Bassham is not just another motivational speaker or performance coach. He is an Olympic gold medalist who discovered something most athletes never do. That winning is primarily mental, not 50%, not 75%, but as he came to believe, as much as 90% of success is decided by how we think, not just how we perform, in a world obsessed with talent, hustle, and grit. With winning in mind cuts through the noise with a bold, counterintuitive truth. Mastering your mind is the real path to mastering your life. When Bassham lost the gold medal in the 1972 Olympics by just a sliver, crushed under the weight of mental pressure, he didn't blame the weather, the equipment, or his luck. He went deeper. He studied what the best thinkers, competitors, and performers in the world did differently, and what he found was a system, a precise, repeatable mental management system that changed everything. It brought him Olympic gold, it brought him world championships, and it can bring you to your peak performance too. This isn't just a story about sports, this is about life, because in your career, your relationships, your personal battles, and your highest ambitions, the game is always mental. You don't have to be an Olympian to think like one. The strategies in this book are universal. They're for anyone who dares to strive, to compete, to perform, to win. So the question isn't whether you're talented enough, strong enough, or smart enough. The real question is this: is your mind working for you or against you? Turn the page and discover what happens when you finally take control of the most powerful tool you possess. You were born with a mind. Now it's time to manage it. With winning in mind. With winning in mind, Part 1. The Foundation of Mental Mastery. Chapter 1. The Champion's Dilemma. Victory begins in the mind. Let me impress upon you a truth so powerful, it could change the trajectory of your life. Your performance is not controlled by your ability. It is controlled by your belief. Lanny Bassham, Olympic gold medalist in rifle shooting, did not win because he had the best eyesight or the most expensive rifle. No, he won because he won the battle within his own mind. In this first chapter, we are introduced to a lesson as old as the mountains, but as urgent as a ticking clock. The external world is a mirror of the internal state. I say to you, just as I have said to thousands who have sought the secret to success, the mind is the battleground where victories are decided long before they are realized. After losing the gold medal at the Munich Olympics, Bassham realized that his physical training had reached its peak, yet it was his mind that had betrayed him. He set out not to learn how to shoot better, but to learn how to think like a champion. He did not find the answer in psychology books or in traditional coaching. He had to forge it himself. The mental management system was born out of painful defeat and a burning desire to master the inner game. So I urge you, embrace every failure as fuel, for your belief, not your skill, is what will determine your destiny. I never knew how powerful the mind could be, Bassham said, and neither do most people, until they learn to master it. Chapter 2. The Mental Management System. Your Formula for Winning. Now, dear listener, lend me your focused attention, for we are about to uncover a revolutionary framework, one that separates the average from the excellent, the hopeful from the accomplished. Bassham created a three-part mental management system that governs every peak performance. 1. The conscious mind, where thoughts are chosen. 2. The subconscious mind, where skills are executed. 3. The self-image, where identity resides. Let me make this abundantly clear. You do not perform at your potential. You perform at the level of your self-image. You may practice for hours, you may rehearse and recite, but if your self-image whispers, "I am not enough," then no amount of skill will overcome it. The conscious mind selects thoughts like a sculptor selects tools. Every thought you think is a chisel against the marble of your self-image. Every statement you declare becomes a prophecy of your performance, and the subconscious, that faithful servant, executes only what it believes is aligned with your identity. Now hear me well. The subconscious does not argue. It obeys, and it obeys the instructions given by your self-image. So if you desire greatness, you must not only feed your mind good thoughts, you must become the kind of person who expects to win. This, my friend, is not pop psychology. It is a battle-tested system born in Olympic fire. Chapter 3. The Self-Image. The thermostat of your success. Let us go deeper now into the beating heart of this system, the self-image. Think of your self-image as a thermostat. It does not care how hot or cold life gets. It simply adjusts your performance back to the level you believe you deserve. A man may have talent to spare, but if he thinks himself unworthy, he will find a way to fail. And a woman with modest talent but a powerful self-image will rise again and again until she conquers the summit. The self-image is not static. It is programmed by thoughts, experiences, and most importantly, by how we talk to ourselves. Bassham calls this the directive affirmation, a structured way to speak into your subconscious. Bypassing doubt and forging identity, you write a vision of who you want to become, and you speak it daily, not with whimsy, but with conviction, as if your life depended on it, because it does. I am a consistent, world-class performer. I trust my process. I expect to win. These are not just affirmations, they are orders to the subconscious, and like a soldier in the heat of battle, it will carry them out without hesitation if they are given with belief. Chapter 4. Pressure, the friend of the prepared mind. Pressure is a word that causes most people to crumble, but not you, not anymore. Bassham teaches us that pressure is not an enemy, but a signal. It is the signal that says, this matters. And if you have trained your mind, if you have rehearsed success in your self-image, then pressure becomes the stage upon which you shine. The untrained mind panics under pressure, but the trained mind, it defaults to its strongest habits. So if you habitually feed your self-image, rehearse your success, and control your thoughts, then pressure will activate your preparation. Bassham calls this mental rehearsal, a tool so powerful that Olympic athletes use it religiously. You close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding, again and again, until your subconscious believes it to be truth. The body cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined success and a real one. So why waste time doubting when you could be rehearsing your greatness? With winning in mind, Part 2. Tools of the Champion's Mind. Chapter 5. The Power of Directive Affirmation. Reprogramming the self-image. Listen carefully, for what I am about to reveal to you could very well be the single most important tool you ever wield in the shaping of your future. Success, in its purest form, is a habit of thought, and directive affirmation is the champion's method of installing that habit with surgical precision. Now, what is directive affirmation? It is not idle hope. It is not vague wishing. It is not mumbling something in front of a mirror like a powerless beggar asking life for a favor. No, it is a command, a decree, a royal edict issued by the conscious mind to the subconscious. Here is the process that Bassham lays before us. 1. Define exactly what you want. Do not stammer. Do not guess. Define with the clarity of a man staring down the scope of his destiny. 2. Write it in present tense, personal and positive. Not I will be confident, but I am confident, calm, and in control under pressure. 3. Repeat it daily for 21 days. Write it, read it, feel it, speak it like you believe it. With every cell of your being, let this truth echo in your ears. You cannot outperform your self-image, but you can upgrade it with repetition, conviction, and belief. This is the mental programming of champions. You are not just affirming a dream. You are building a new operating system within your brain, a version of yourself that no longer sabotages, no longer doubts, and no longer shrinks in the face of pressure. Chapter 6. Mental Rehearsal. Practicing Success Before It Happens. Let me ask you, would you walk into a battlefield without ever training for war? Then why would you walk into a high-pressure performance without having rehearsed the experience in your mind 1,000 times before? Mental rehearsal is the method of repeatedly visualizing a successful performance, not as fantasy, but as training. Bassham makes it crystal clear. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between an actual experience and a vividly imagined one. If you imagine yourself succeeding, with clarity, with color, with emotion, your subconscious will record it as real, and when the time comes, when the lights are on and the crowd is silent and the pressure is crushing, your body and mind will say, "I've been here before," and it will execute the moment flawlessly. Picture it. Your breathing steady, your hands calm, your thoughts locked in. You've seen this shot. You've lived this interview. You've already nailed this speech. The moment may be new to the world, but to you it is. Old territory. Repetition of success breeds expectation of success, and expectation is the parent of performance. Chapter 7. The Performance Triangle, the Cycle of Excellence. Let us now examine the performance triangle, the secret loop that fuels all high achievers. It is a feedback system so potent, it can either build you into a legend or break you down into mediocrity. The triangle has three components. 1. Performance. 2. Self-image. 3. Reinforcement. When you perform well, you reinforce a positive image of yourself. That image then elevates your expectations for the next performance. Success becomes self-replicating, but beware if you allow negativity to creep in. If you dwell on failure, then you reinforce doubt and your self-image begins to fracture. So, how does a champion respond to failure? With intention, with wisdom, with controlled reinforcement. Even if the outcome wasn't ideal, you focus on what went right. You say, "I handled the pressure well," or "my timing was strong," or "I stayed focused." Why? Because your subconscious records what you emphasize. You must become your own mental architect, building with bricks of affirmation and steel beams of mental rehearsal. Let this be burned into your consciousness. Every time you think about a performance, you are reinforcing either success or failure. Choose wisely what you dwell on. Chapter 8. Controlling the controllables. In this chapter, we arrive at a principle so simple, yet so often neglected. Control only what you can control, and release the rest. The average man wastes his energy complaining about the wind. The champion, he adjusts his sails. Bassham teaches that winners do not fixate on the opponent, the crowd, the conditions, or the noise. Instead, they lock their attention on their process. The internal checklist that ensures optimal performance. Control your thoughts, control your breathing, control your routine. That is your domain, that is your battlefield. Once again, we hear echoes of truth Napoleon Hill thundered a century ago. The man who masters himself is greater than the one who conquers a city, and Bassham agrees. He calls this the process over outcome mindset. You do not chase medals, you chase execution. You do not obsess over results, you obsess over excellence. And in doing so, the results take care of themselves. With winning in mind. Part 3. The Champion's Focus and Recovery System. Chapter 9. Focus. The Art of Thinking on Purpose. Now listen closely, for the next 10 minutes could save you 10 years of wasted effort. The average man lives in distraction. He starts with ambition but finishes with excuses. Why? Because he has no control over his focus, his most valuable asset. Lanny Bassham makes it clear. Focus is not a feeling. It is a choice. It is not something that happens to you. It is something you do deliberately. Let me be blunt. If you don't learn to direct your mind, the world will do it for you. Bassham trains us to understand that there are two types of focus. 1. Outcome-based focus, where you obsess about results and get emotionally hijacked. 2. Process-based focus, where you lock your mind onto the steps, the routines, and the moment you're in. Champions live in the now. They focus on what they're doing, not what it means. When the Olympic moment arrives, they don't think about medals, the crowd, or failure. They think about breathing, about stance, about timing, about the shot. You must treat your focus like a spotlight. Shine it only where it matters. Turn it off everywhere else, because wherever your attention goes, your performance follows. You will never outperform your focus. Chapter 10. The Distraction Assassin. Eliminate the noise. Let us now speak of the assassin of greatness. Distraction. Distraction is the thief that robs dreams in broad daylight. It enters quietly, through worry, comparison, social noise, doubt, and it poisons your focus at the root. You must declare war on distraction. You must develop the habit of mental filtering, the ability to delete, ignore, or destroy anything that does not serve your mission. Bassham teaches that the greats do not merely have discipline, they have elimination. They eliminate negative thoughts, emotional garbage, time-wasting conversations, and everything that does not push them closer to mastery. Ask yourself, would a world-class performer think this? Focus on this, waste time on this. If not, delete it from your mind. This is not cold-hearted. This is survival. This is not selfish. This is sacred, because to become the person you are meant to be, you must protect your mental environment with vigilance. You don't let weeds grow in a garden. Don't let doubt grow. In your mind, Chapter 11. The Recovery Principle. Bounce back like a champion. Now we arrive at a lesson that separates the good from the great. The speed at which you recover from failure determines how far you will rise. Failure is not the end. It is the invitation to master your mind. Every champion fails, but the difference is simple. They do not stay there. They bounce back immediately. They recover with purpose, not with panic. Lanny Bassham calls this the recovery principle, and it has one golden rule. Never dwell on a performance longer than 30 seconds. Win or lose, you review it, learn from it, and move on. This single rule saved Bassham's career, and it may save yours. You see, the average person gets stuck in the emotional residue of failure. They replay it for hours, days, even years, and every time they do, they reinforce it, cement it, burn it deeper into their identity. But the champion understands the clock is ticking. The longer you stay in the failure, the deeper you fall, so they choose to exit quickly and return to the present. You must build a recovery routine. 1. A mental cue. That moment is over, I am back. 2. A physical reset. Breathe, stretch, walk. 3. A positive affirmation. I learned, I move forward. With this method, you become unstoppable, not because you never fall, but because you never stay down. Chapter 12. Preloading and programming. Success starts before the game begins. Bassham now leads us into a deeper secret of champions. Preloading success. If you think the battle begins at showtime, you're already behind. Winners pre-program their mind hours, even days before the performance. They use pre-performance rituals. They rehearse the win. They visualize success. They set their internal dialogue before the world can speak. Bassham explains, you must not try to be confident. You must already be confident by the time you show up. You don't stumble into greatness. You design it, write this into your soul. The brain performs best in familiar environments. Make your future success familiar through mental rehearsal and preloading. You create the emotional climate before the event, and when the event begins, you simply step into the mindset you already chose. You don't fake it, you forge it, with winning in mind. Part 4. The Mental Management System Unleashed. Chapter 13. The Mental Management Routine. Precision in the Heat of Pressure. There are moments in life when everything is on the line. You know them, you feel them, your hands sweat, your thoughts race, the world watches, and in that moment, there are 2 types of people. Those who crack and those who execute flawlessly. Why the difference? Because the latter have what Bassham calls the mental management routine, a structured pre-performance process so drilled into the subconscious that pressure becomes irrelevant. The routine takes over. Let me make it simple and powerful. 1. Mental program. You rehearse success through visualization. 2. Directive affirmation. You speak the truth of who you are becoming. 3. Performance journal. You reflect only on what went well, reinforcing confidence. This routine becomes your armor, your ritual, your launch pad. Bassham reminds us, you don't win in the arena. You win in the preparation, and preparation isn't random. It's systematic. You don't wait for confidence to show up. You train it. You don't hope for calm. You program it. You don't react to pressure. You control it before it arrives. This is the mental game plan of champions, forged not by luck, but by relentless intent. Chapter 14. Mastery Maintenance. Stay sharp, stay ready. Most people fall off not because they fail, but because they stop doing what made them successful. Lanny Bassham, with the calm clarity of a man who's been to the top, warns us, you must maintain your system or lose it. And so, he offers a maintenance checklist, a ritual of mental hygiene. Are you still rehearsing success mentally, daily? Are you reviewing only your successful performance moments? Are you journaling affirmations that build your identity? Are you protecting your focus? And managing your self-talk. Bassham teaches that mental management is not a tool you pick up and drop. It is a lifestyle, like brushing your teeth. It is daily maintenance for your potential because let's face it, we don't rise to our goals. We fall to our systems. You must maintain your internal environment the way a gardener maintains fertile soil. Weeds of doubt grow quickly if you stop tending them. And the fruit of excellence only grows under consistent care. Champions do daily what others do occasionally. Let that become your creed. Chapter 15. Teaching the system. Empowering others. Now we pivot to purpose beyond self. For what good is greatness if it dies with you? Bassham believes in multiplication through mentorship, and he states it clearly. If you want to truly master a concept, teach it to someone else. There's a magic in transmission. When you coach others, you don't just reinforce your mastery, you expand it, and more importantly, you become a vessel of transformation in someone else's life. Whether you're a parent, a coach, a leader, or simply someone striving for more, you owe it to the world to share what works, because what you've learned is not just about winning medals, it's about building lives. The mental management system can help a student conquer test anxiety, an athlete perform under pressure, an entrepreneur stay focused during crisis, a speaker own the stage with poise. This is a system that turns ordinary people into warriors of purpose. Chapter 16. The Champion's Creed. Living with winning in mind. We close with the single most powerful transformation of all, the shift from using a system to becoming the system. To live with winning in mind is not about sports. It is not about performance under lights. It is about waking up every morning with clarity, moving through the day with intention, and closing your eyes at night with peace. It is about speaking victory before it manifests, thinking on purpose instead of by default, refusing to let your past write your future, bouncing back with speed and fire, and living like a champion regardless of outcome, because in the end, Lanny Bassham teaches that true champions are not made by medals or applause. They are made by the way they think, the way they prepare, the way they respond, and the way they live. And so, the champion's creed is simple. I think like a winner. I prepare like a professional. I respond with strength. I learn from everything. I live with winning in mind. Conclusion. Seize the crown with winning in mind. Now that you have walked the halls of greatness through the mind and message of Olympic champion Lanny Bassham, what remains is not merely inspiration, but decision. Let me say it loud and clear. The mind of man, when properly trained, disciplined, and directed, is the most powerful force in the universe. And now, that power is in your hands. You have learned that success is not granted by fate, nor reserved for the few. It is engineered by the individual who dares to master his mind. You now understand that thoughts are not harmless. They are the blueprints of your future. Self-image is not fixed. It is forged through action and belief. Focus is not accidental. It is trained like a muscle. Performance is not mystery. It is the outcome of preparation and mental mastery. Failure is not final. It is feedback, fuel, and the forge of champions, and above all, victory begins not in the body, but in the mind. You are not a bystander in the game of life. You are not a pawn on the chessboard of destiny. You are the creator, the captain, the conductor of your performance, your potential, and your purpose. Lanny Bassham handed you a system, but that system is only as powerful as the decision to use it. And so, I challenge you, not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Speak only that which builds your image. Think only thoughts that move you forward. Focus only on what you can control. Bounce back like lightning after every fall. Train your mind with the intensity of a warrior preparing for battle. For as surely as the sun rises, you will become what you believe, and you will achieve what you mentally rehearse. If only you keep winning in mind, the doors of opportunity swing wide open, not for the lucky, but for the prepared, and no one is more prepared than the man who has mastered the arena of his own mind. This, my friend, is not just a book. This is your battle plan. This is your mirror, your map, and your moment. So rise, think, act, train, repeat, and when the day comes that your name is called and the world watches and the pressure mounts, smile, because you have already seen this moment. You have already won it in your mind, And as surely as I once declared that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, you shall now declare, I am no longer trying to win. I am living with winning in mind. Now go, live it, become it, and let the world feel your fire. Read the book to learn more. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz reviews and summaries.